Good evening, guys. Welcome to today's price action analysis video of the 15th of March 2022. Let's analyze price from the first candle onwards. See, Nifty opened with this candle here. It was the candle with which had a long wick and it was taking resistance exactly at the monthly pivot here. This line that I have marked is the monthly pivot. You can see this line here. It crosses. So that's the monthly pivot, and you can see the R1 here, and it opened exactly inside the gap that was marked previously. And what I'll do is I'll just quickly delete this box here, make it clearer. Yes, that makes the vision clearer here. And it actually opened outside the range of the previous day. So here, let me explain this. This was the PDL, and that PDL was going to act as an important level whenever price opens within the R1 and the CPR. See, this is the R1 pivot, isn't it? Now here was the R1 pivot here, the blue line that you can see here marked. That is the blue dotted line. Now I have overdrawn it with the black line. So now the PDL was at, the PDH was at this level, and this particular pin bar, the 9:15 AM pin bar, was formed exactly at the monthly pivot and outside the previous day's range. So what does this suggest? It suggests that the buyers are trying to take the price up, but they're not successful enough, and price is taking resistance at the monthly pivot and inside the gap. So that is what we get to see when we see such kind of price action. And then you saw that the price broke the PDH exactly at the with the 9:30 AM candle, but that candle had a long wick on the bottom, and so was the third candle. The 9:25 AM candle was a green candle which broke the PDH as a resistance also. Second candle broke it as a support, and the third candle broke it as a resistance here. And then again, back again, this candle closed inside the previous day's range. It's almost always evident that price goes and meets the CPR once there is a strong closing inside the previous day's range. I'm talking about the fact when price opens outside the previous day's range as it opened today. Okay, it does not mean that if price opens somewhere inside the range here, it doesn't mean that if price goes up here, it breaks this range and again comes down. That doesn't mean that this break is important. No, it is not. It is when there are no candles inside the previous day's range. Although we could see this candle, but that candle you could see did not give a convincing closing, although it did close, but it had these wicks on the bottom. So price action suggests that there are buyers there. Buyers were still trying, but when these two candles were formed, let me just mark these two candles. See, when these two strong Marubozu candles were formed, it suggests that the price is going to go and touch the CPR. And then you can see that after it touched the CPR at this level, it took a bounce at this with this candle here. That was the 10 AM candle, and the bounce took the price after making a base here, a small base here. It went up right up to the previous day's high, and again the previous day's high here acted as a resistance. Then again price from here, after it took resistance, it spent some time there trying to break that level. So buyers were trying to take price above that level, but then sellers pushed it down. Then again there was a strong battle here between buyers and sellers. Again buyers were successful in pushing the price up from that consolidation level. Again sellers came into play here, and then they were successful in pushing the price down massively. That was such a strong selling pressure that it broke the wide CPR also. And here let's go ahead and check the fall from the previous day's high to today's low. The fall was 333 points. That is a huge fall in Nifty in one day. So that was the kind of selling pressure that was there in Nifty, and that had come after a serious kind of consolidation. So how do you find consolidation there? See, this was the entire level of consolidation before the price was pushed down. So this is where If you've not watched that video, go ahead and watch that video, although that is more applicable to long-term trading patterns. But this is where a distribution phase can be seen, where price keeps going in one particular channel and then a final push is given, and then the price just completely collapses like there is no tomorrow. Now given this kind of price action, let's see what levels, important levels we have here. Okay, before I go to levels, let me tell you one thing here. See here, when price broke out of the 1 p.m. candle here, okay, this was the 1 p.m. candle, you can see that there was a back-to-back crash here. See, such huge red candles here, you could see. This is a strong red candle, this is a strong red candle, another strong red candle here, another strong red candle here, and then they come and take support exactly at the S1 pivot. You can see the S1 pivot here, the blue dotted line here is the S1 pivot, but then the S1 pivot, the support is also broken, and then price again fell with strong red candles here, and in fact it also went past the previous day low, but we had marked virgin CPR from the previous day, and that was not broken today in Nifty, although there are candles inside it, but it acted as a support. So what I meant to tell you was, whenever this kind of a massive fall happens, don't ever consider yourself as missing out from that crash. Don't suffer from FOMO. Such crashes, there is really no rhyme or reason behind such crashes. There is really nothing we as retailers can do. One more important reason here why that crash happened was seen in Bank Nifty. Now let me just take you to Bank Nifty here, and then we will come back to Nifty. Okay, let's see here. Let me just analyze Bank Nifty here, and then we'll go back to Nifty levels. Okay, so let's start with analysis first, and then I'll take you to the reason why it happened there. Now Bank Nifty started with or opened with this red doji kind of candle, and it also opened outside the previous day's range here, and then Bank Nifty also broke the previous day's range with the second candle. Then the third candle, like in Nifty, was a bullish pin bar, and the fourth candle again reversed and broke that particular level of PDH. Now here price made a base. See here, price made a base, and this was not a place where Bank Nifty would have actually looked to reverse. It was actually when Nifty had come to the support of the CPR that you could see that Bank Nifty reversed from there, and then you could see that Bank Nifty spent some time there making a reversal kind of pattern there, and alternative red and green candles there. So what happens here is, at such times when Bank Nifty reverses, Bank Nifty has not yet touched the day's CPR, and usually I said that it is seen that Bank Nifty that in Nifty and Bank Nifty, whenever price breaks down from the previous day's high range or breaks down from the previous day high into the previous day's range, price is seen to go and touch the current day CPR. But that was not something that had happened today, and at this level right here, I had actually taken a scalp again at 9:43 a.m. I had shorted the 35,400 call option. The reason being that I knew that Bank Nifty had already broken into the current day range, and I knew that whenever the R1 pivot, you can see the R1 pivot here, is above the previous day high range and the price opens somewhere in the vicinity of the previous day high and it breaks it, by the mean, I don't mean that by the vicinity means, I don't mean to say that it opens below the PDH. Okay, like I said in Nifty, what I mean to say is it opens outside the previous day's range but opens very close to the PDH, and it opens within the gap between the R1 and the previous day high. So whenever price opens there and it breaks the PDH, it is usually seen to come and touch the CPR. So what I had done was, see, I knew that price had made a new low here. Okay, and you can see that I had initiated the trade at the 9:43 a.m. That was at the 9:40 candle. Why was that? Because see here, I had seen that the 9:35 candle had broken out of the new support that price had made. Why was it the support? Because the PDH, after the PDH, price had tried to break the PDH but it could not. So what was the low here? I'll just show you quickly. See, this was the initial low that price had made because of the low of that first candle. Then the low of the third candle came down to this level, so this was the new low. So when price broke the that support with this candle, which was the 9:35 a.m. candle, my signal was on that price has now broken into this current day range convincingly. And as you know, because of market volatility, I like to whenever I take trades, I like to resort to scalping techniques also. So this is one of my scalping techniques, where whenever price breaches the current day range, I tend to short options accordingly. Or maybe if it goes actually price falls more than, much better than rising, so the same rule applies to whenever price breaks into the current day range with a strong green candle from the bottom also. This kind of scalping techniques only work when the PDH is close to the CPR and there is no pivot in between it. Okay, anyway, so my reason for opening the trade was that this candle here had given me a convincing breakout, and then after the 9:40 a.m. candle opened, I knew that I had a fairly okay risk reward trade, and I was planning on booking my profit immediately at the top CPR. And here Bank Nifty came very close to the top CPR, but at that point I had seen that Nifty had hit the CPR already, and so I was not very convinced about holding on to the trade any longer. Anyway, I was not planning to. So as you can see, I was barely in it for around 6 minutes, and you can see that I had shorted it for 540 rupees and covered it at 499 rupees. So that is how I had traded today. It was just the single trade that I took today, and usually I resort to scalping techniques when I see that market is usually volatile. You could see today how volatile the market was. It opened here, broke the PDH, made a base here at the CPR, then again shot up from here, again took resistance at the R1 pivot, also the supply zone, and then fell, then again made a base. Then here the buyers were successful in pushing the price back up. Again here it took resistance and then the crash. And that crash happened in Nifty as well as in Bank Nifty because it was a supply zone on the top of Bank Nifty. So that is why I said that we would analyze Bank Nifty first and then we would go back and draw levels for Nifty. And I also wanted you to see the scalp trade that I had taken today. Anyway, so here you can see that after the price spent this time here, the supply zone acted here in the at this level. That was also the R1 level, and we are already marked the supply zone. So let's just measure this fall here. What was the fall like from the high? Let's take it from this high and let's go to the low. So it was around 935 points, which was a big fall, and that fall did not even respect the CPR. I had said in yesterday's analysis video that wide CPR days price usually tends to stay sideways, but the selling today was immense and even CPR could not hold that kind of a price action. Okay, I hope things are clear for you, the way I had traded, the way the scalp trade was opened. So we are being on the Bank Nifty trade. Let's analyze and mark levels for Bank Nifty itself. See, since we are on the same page. Okay, we will let the supply zone be, but we will just simply put this level up, the box up a little bit, and we will mark a level at the R1 pivot. That pivot is very important. Of course, the PDH is at the same level, but we will just extend this zone here. And we have the Virgin CPR from the 2nd of March 2022 that is intact. and Bank Nifty has almost fallen, and the entire recovery of yesterday is nearly wiped out today, but it did give a bounce from the PDL here, so that bounce gives me a little bit of hope. We'll see what happens in the next trading session. And all these levels, those levels that are untouched, we will just simply extend them. So what we can do is we can just extend these boxes forward a little bit. Yeah, I think we have all of the levels marked now here. Let's go to Nifty now and check if we find any other important levels to be marked as of today's price action in Nifty. Now you can see here that, just delete this box. Okay, this gap will stay, but it will just be reduced. Okay, well, let's mark it from the PDH. Yeah, that is today's day high, so we'll just mark this area out. We'll just extend this gap. We'll remove this box. The PDH, obviously you know that it's going to be an important supply zone now, but since we already have the gap border marked there, it's fine if we don't mark another level, or just to be certain you can keep that level ready there also. If you are more comfortable, you can actually go ahead and mark a box from that high to this level here, so that you know that that is going to act as a supply zone. But if you are a trader who looks at price action before while actually trading in the live market, it is okay if you don't mark those boxes around the levels there. Nifty has completely erased off all the gains that it had made yesterday, so previous day low will act as a strong support whenever price comes to it, and it'll have to be seen if it's a strong demand zone or not. So I think guys, that should be all for today's price action analysis video. If you've liked the video, please hit the like button and also subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you're notified each time I post a new video. Thank you for watching this video guys. Have a nice day.